For this month's challenge, we don't need an accordion. For this month's challenge, we're removing the right notes or even removing the instrument. What we're working on is something that's just as important as playing notes. It's playing rhythm. It's playing rhythm. Rhythm is huge. Rhythm is huge. Rhythm is almost as important as playing the right notes. Without rhythm, we just have a series of notes. It's kind of like speaking without pauses, without intonation, without dynamics, without going quicker, and without going slower. Words are kind of like a run-on sentence. And that's what we're going to be exploring this month. So if you remember our 15 minutes of practice, it involves left-hand technique and right-hand technique, as well as ear training exercises, playback, but it also involves clapping exercises. I used to do this as a kid. I still do it. If you remember the video with when I did the virtual accordion lesson with Isaac and Yuval, we did clapping exercises. It's so important to work on rhythm. So, this month's challenge, we have two parts to it. The first part is like we did in the January 2021 challenge, where we played back, where we did the ear training exercise, and I asked you to contribute to exercises for other students. We're going to do that, except with clapping exercises. So, part one is to do a clapping exercise that other students will clap back. Shouldn't be too complicated or too long. I'll do one to start you off, but you could choose any of the other learners. So I'm going to clap a pattern twice, and then you pause the video and clap it back. So I have one in mind. It goes like this. Again. Your job is to clap back as accurately as possible. If you're not comfortable with clapping, tap your chest. Sounds like this. Good. That's your task. Do that and record yourself audio or video clapping back a pattern that someone else did, and then contribute a pattern to someone else. Good, that's part one. The other part, which is more holistic, is how do we become more rhythmic? And again, last month's challenge was about doing notes. Free from incorrect notes. What I'd love for you to explore is rhythm as well. Again, this is so crucial. We have tools to help us. We have a metronome, either physical or digital. We have car turn signals in your car. Whatever it is, there are rhythms in the world. If you're a bicycle rider, your feet, when you're cycling, they create a rhythm. So if you can do so safely, I'll do an exercise with a metronome where I'm going to start a metronome and I'm going to explore rhythm with the metronome. So I've set it to basically what a car turn signal is, and I'm going to start clapping with it. I'm exploring rhythm. I'm going to clap twice for every one. What's starting to happen is I'm starting to tap my foot too, right? That's what my foot's doing. I'm going to start doing this one separately. And then what eventually starts happening is my body starts moving. Now, if you don't have to record yourself doing this if you don't want to. It's a little bit self-conscious, and that's okay. What I want you to develop is the movement in playing. Again, just like movement in speech, movement in any exercise that we do, I think brings us closer to the activity, brings out more of us in the activity that we're doing. Whether it's cooking and getting a rhythm going, I think that rhythm is such a crucial part of the things that we do in life. And if you're the kind of person that says, "Oh, I've got no rhythm," don't let that deter you from doing this exercise. Give it a try. Get that physical or digital metronome going. It can be super slow. One, two, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. This starts happening, right? We start to sync, we start to jive. And what's the idea behind this? Eventually, we transfer it to our instrument. I'm pointing at my keyboard, but eventually we start transferring that to our instrument. Just like with ear training, we start to realize what intervals are. That connection between our brain and our fingers becomes better. This kind of motion, we start hearing these rhythms in life, in the metronome, in the streetcar, in our bicycle, and the way that we move, and eventually it moves into our music and into our fingers. Right? This, do 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 do, da 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 da, it eventually starts to move into the fingers, and we become better musicians, which is part of what we're doing here. If you have any questions, let me know. So again, part 1, take this rhythm, record yourself doing that rhythm and suggest another pattern for the other learners. And part 2, you can record this or not. Record yourself jamming along to a click track, to a metronome. Thank you.